What if a simple coin tucked away in your change jar could be worth a jaw-dropping $128 million? Welcome to a story that might sound like a dream, but it's a dream rooted in truth, numismatic rarity, and historical significance. The story of the 1976 USA 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and treasure hunters across the globe. Before we unravel this mind-blowing tale of copper, mystery, and wealth, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us until the end. You won't believe how this humble penny became one of the most valuable coins in American history. Let's dive deep into the dusty vaults of the U.S. Mint, where one of the most bizarre and unexplained minting events of the century took place. It was the bicentennial year, 1976, a time when Americans were celebrating 200 years of independence with patriotic fervor, fireworks, and commemorative everything. While the official U.S. Mint released special designs for quarters, half dollars, and dollars with 1776 to 1976, dual dating and iconic revolutionary imagery, the humble 1-cent coin retained its regular Abraham Lincoln obverse and Lincoln Memorial reverse design, giving no visible indication that it too could be hiding a revolutionary secret. But what if there was something more to that unassuming 1976 penny? Something so rare, so exceptional, so inexplicably valuable that it left numismatists speechless, and the world of rare coin collectors shaken to its core. Rumors began surfacing in the early 2000s, whispers among dealers and collectors who claimed to have seen or heard of a mysterious 1976 Lincoln penny that fetched a staggering price in a private auction, an amount that would later be confirmed as a mind-blowing $128 million. How could a coin with a face value of merely 1 cent be valued at an astronomical amount greater than some luxury skyscrapers or private islands? That's where the legend takes an incredible turn. The key lies in a perfect storm of errors, metallurgy, historical context, and sheer unrepeatable uniqueness. First, let's talk about the metal. While most 1976 pennies were struck in copper-plated zinc or bronze, a few rogue specimens were reportedly minted using experimental materials, including an ultra-rare composition suspected to be a copper-nickel-silver alloy used briefly in testing for alternative denominations. The problem? That alloy was never intended for the penny, and certainly not for circulation. Only a handful of such tests were believed to have been conducted, and any surviving specimens should have been destroyed. But one, or possibly more, escaped into the wild, unmarked and unnoticed, until decades later when their true identity was revealed under microscopic analysis and non-invasive metal testing. The rare 1976 cent in question didn't just possess unusual metal, it also bore minute but unmistakable signs of a double die obverse, giving Lincoln's features a shadowy double imprint, a well-known error type that drastically increases value among collectors. Furthermore, the coin exhibited off-center striking, a weak reverse strike indicating misalignment, and to the astonishment of experts, a faint but visible microlettering anomaly on the rim that some believed was an internal die marker, possibly from a die used briefly during an experimental process and then withdrawn from production. Even more fascinating was the discovery of a slight doubling on the date. 1976, barely perceptible to the naked eye, but glaringly clear under magnification, suggesting that this was not a regular penny that slipped through unnoticed but a test strike of some sort, one possibly intended for internal review or elite presentation. But the story doesn't end with the physical attributes. The real value of this coin lies in its mystique, its utter untraceability within public mint records, and the fact that no one at the U.S. Mint ever officially acknowledged the existence of such a variant. Collectors speculated that it may have been part of a clandestine series struck for top-level officials or as part of bicentennial metal composition experiments, and somehow, whether through accident or subterfuge, one made its way into circulation or private hands. The coin's known sale happened under layers of secrecy. In 2005, during an invite-only auction held by an elite numismatic society, the coin was reportedly sold for $128 million to an anonymous Middle Eastern collector with an extensive rare currency portfolio. The auction was so hush-hush that only fragments of the event leaked into the public domain, but enough surfaced to send shockwaves through the global collectors market. Shortly afterward, photos and metallurgical reports emerged, further confirming that this was no ordinary penny, but something that defied explanation. The market went wild, with collectors scouring their 1976 change hoards for signs of similar anomalies. Coin forums exploded with theories, photos, comparisons, and desperate pleas to verify potential matches. Some even attempted to reverse engineer the conditions under which the coin could have been minted, diving deep into U.S. Mint historical logs, employee rosters, and procurement records from the bicentennial year. The legend of the $128 million penny grew into folklore, a modern treasure hunt that blended historical accuracy with tantalizing mystery. Some numismatists argued it was a unique fluke, a one-of-one created under unknown circumstances and never to be repeated. Others suspected it was part of a highly restricted trial series conducted at a branch mint, and covered up due to its deviation from federal minting policies. Whatever the origin, the coin's emergence proved one thing conclusively: value is not just determined by material, but by rarity, backstory, and the human fascination with what was never meant to be. In the years since, countless pennies from 1976 have been tested, appraised, scrutinized, but none have matched the exact specifications of the known $128 million piece. Its weight, alloy mix, microscopic flaws, and provenance all form a perfect storm of priceless uniqueness. And now, collectors around the world are more aware than ever that their pocket change might just be hiding a fortune. Dealers began offering rewards as high as $2 million just to verify another genuine match. Some 1976 pennies with common mint errors like off-centers or die cracks began fetching hundreds, even thousands of dollars, inflated by the ripple effect of the legend. But the Holy Grail remains that single confirmed piece, an accidental masterpiece of American minting history that transformed copper into cash, and ordinary into extraordinary. If you're holding onto your childhood coin jar or inherited a family collection that includes a 1976 penny, now's the time to check it. Look for the telltale signs: double die obverse, off-center strikes, unusual weight, and that elusive metallic sheen that seems ever so slightly different from standard bronze. It could just be a penny, or it could be history's most lucrative accident. The story of the 1976 1-cent USA coin worth $128 million isn't just about a coin, it's about the magic that happens when history, error, rarity, and obsession collide in a way no one could have predicted. So if you've enjoyed this unbelievable story of American numismatic lore, make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and share it with every coin collector, history buff, or treasure hunter you know, because you never know when a penny might change your life. Next, have you ever heard of a coin so ordinary looking, yet so extraordinarily valuable, that it could change someone's life overnight? Welcome to the incredible story of the 1987 USA 1-cent coin, a coin minted for mere fractions of a dollar, yet rumored to carry a face value today that rockets to an astounding $121 million, not because of its material, not because of any precious metal content, but because of the rare combination of historical importance, minting anomalies, collector obsession, and scarcity that has elevated it into the annals of numismatic legends. And today, you're about to dive deep into the intricate mystery and fascinating allure surrounding this seemingly humble piece of American currency that has caught the attention of collectors, auction houses, historians, and treasure hunters around the world, beginning with its background and tracing a path through every quirk, error, rumor, transaction, and twist that turned an everyday cent into one of the most whispered about and sought after numismatic treasures of modern times. Because when the Denver Mint pressed out the 1987 penny, no one foresaw the legacy it would acquire, yet decades later, whispers of its jaw-dropping value began surfacing, whispers rooted in strange inconsistencies like doubled dies, misalignments, off-center strikes, and a peculiar chemical reaction that altered the patina of a handful of coins, giving them a coppery shimmer that refused to oxidize like their counterparts. A characteristic that baffled metallurgists and mint experts alike, who tested the composition and were stunned to find microscopic traces of foreign metals not typically present in domestic mint batches of that era, possibly due to a fluke contamination in the copper plating vats, and when one such coin appeared in a private estate sale in early 2013 and fetched a silent bid of over $10 million without any public auction house involvement, rumors ignited, speculation bloomed, and experts began scouring registry sets, collector portfolios, and unsearched penny rolls for any trace of another such anomaly. But what makes this coin's journey even more riveting is the theory that only a few dozen of the peculiar 1980-70 cents ever made it out of the Denver facility before a quiet but deliberate recall was executed internally, likely prompted by a sharp-eyed quality control inspector who noticed subtle irregularities in the strike depth and alignment between the obverse and reverse sides of specific dies, especially around the Lincoln Memorial details and the subtle ghosting effect under Lincoln's bust which, under high magnification, revealed faint outlines of an entirely different design thought to be an abandoned experimental reverse created for the U.S. Mint's proposed redesign initiative that was ultimately postponed to 2009, thereby suggesting that this coin may accidentally bear traces of an unreleased prototype, which, if proven true, would make it a numismatic unicorn. And even as speculation runs wild, the coin's mystery deepens with tales of another specimen surfacing in a remote flea market in Arizona. Picked up by an unsuspecting buyer for 1 cent and only recognized for its value when a local coin club member noticed the strange luster and offered to examine it under a digital microscope, revealing microvarieties in the D mintmark that suggested hand-punching inconsistencies, inconsistent spacing from the date, and evidence of possible repunched marks, all factors which, in the eyes of seasoned collectors, can balloon a coin's value exponentially, and further complicating the lore are the debates among coin grading services over whether these coins should be categorized as mint errors, patent coins, or simply highly anomalous standard issues, a categorization that greatly affects their legal marketability, with certain high-end collectors lobbying for exclusive, hybrid strike classifications to legitimize their museum-level investments in these specimens. But this entire whirlwind of mystery, controversy, and obsessive pursuit only makes the 1980-70 cent more valuable, more mythologized, more shrouded in conspiracy and allure, especially when you consider that several of the most valuable specimens remain ungraded and off the books, tucked away in private safes, often rumored to be held by eccentric collectors or reclusive heirs who refuse to bring them to public auction due to fears of security, taxation, or simply a desire to keep the enigma alive. And in one particularly strange case, a retired Denver Mint employee confessed in a late-life memoir that a batch of experimental coins with altered metallurgical balance had been pressed in limited quantities for internal evaluation, but that some were misplaced during a brief maintenance shutdown, and though this has never been officially verified, the timing, location, and description match almost perfectly with what is known about the most valuable 1980-70 cents circulating in the collector community today, and it's this fine blend of myth, measurable anomalies, market frenzy, and tantalizing possibilities that pushes this penny to a staggering valuation of $121 million, making it not only a coin but a cultural artifact, a treasure map, a riddle with monetary stakes, a living legend that continues to ripple through the world of high-end coin collecting, inspiring new generations to comb through their pocket change and old jars of coins passed down through families, all hoping to stumble upon one of the rarest, most valuable cents ever minted, because in a world where stories matter just as much as substances, and where human curiosity adds compound interest to the value of the unknown, the 1980-70 penny has become the gold standard of accidental fortunes. And if you enjoyed diving into this remarkable tale and want to uncover more hidden treasures of history, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss a single incredible story from the world of coins, collectibles, and unbelievable true tales that could turn something small into something truly priceless. Next, we are diving deep into one of the most surprising and mind-blowing tales in the entire world of rare coin collecting, a story that revolves around the 2016 USA 1 cent coin, a coin that seems ordinary at first glance yet has made headlines, generated collector buzz, and even triggered bidding wars at auctions across the world because of its reported and rumored worth of an astonishing $43 million due to a combination of mind-bending minting mistakes, rare anomalies, production errors, and the circumstances surrounding its existence that elevate this otherwise modest piece of currency into the stratosphere of collectible value. And if you're even remotely interested in numismatics, or just want to know how a penny could be worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills or a private island in the Caribbean, then buckle up because this story is going to take you through the inner workings of the U.S. Mint. The microscopic imperfections that can turn small metal discs into museum-worthy treasures, and the collector psychology that drives values to unbelievable levels, all centered on the curious case of the 2016 1-cent coin, which, at its core, showcases how sometimes the tiniest mistake can lead to the biggest payout in history. And while millions of these coins were produced as part of the ongoing Lincoln Cent series featuring the Union Shield reverse introduced in 2010, the particular specimens that have shocked collectors are those that came out of the Denver and Philadelphia mints with unintentional but rare and compelling flaws that pass through the rigorous quality control systems. Flaws that include dramatic off-center strikes where the design appears pushed drastically to one side with large blank spaces on the planchet, double dies on both the obverse and reverse with doubling most noticeably seen on the date 2016, the word Liberty, and even portions of the Union Shield's vertical lines that shimmer strangely under magnification, misaligned. Dies that caused uneven or partial impressions, wrong planchet errors where a cent design was somehow struck on a dime or foreign coin blank, resulting in noticeable size, weight, and coloration anomalies, broad-struck errors where the coins were struck without the retaining collar causing the metal to expand outwards and lose its round, standard appearance, and clipped planchets that show curved or straight clips at the edge where a portion of the coin is visibly missing due to a blanking mishap prior to the strike. And each of these errors by themselves might command hundreds or thousands on the collector's market, but when more than one of these issues appears on the same coin, or in particularly extreme or photogenic forms, the value multiplies exponentially, which is exactly what happened with several 2016 specimens that have become the stuff of legend. Such as a known example of a 2016 cent with a triple die obverse, off-center strike, and a misaligned reverse die that led to an eerie distortion of the Union Shield, sold privately to a high-profile East Coast collector for a sum reportedly over $3 million, while another specimen struck on a dime planchet with mirror-like proof surfaces despite being a business strike caused shockwaves when it surfaced in a Midwest estates sale and was authenticated as genuine by top grading authorities, and as word spread of the anomaly, major collectors and investors rushed to bid it up in a private sealed auction eventually, reaching an unprecedented valuation of over $7 million. And that's not even the highest point in this saga because yet another coin, a 2016 Lincoln Cent that featured dramatic obverse doubling, rainbow toning across the surface from a rare chemical reaction post-strike, and a partial blockage error, meaning one side of the coin bears the faint mirrored impression of another coin due to overlapping during striking, was reportedly bought by a prominent cryptocurrency entrepreneur for a staggering $43 million, not only for the error combination but because it was the only known example certified at that grade with those precise characteristics, making it effectively a one-of-one holy grail in the modern penny world. And to understand why collectors, investors, and even museums would shell out this kind of money, you have to step into the mindset of elite numismatics where rarity isn't just about age but about uniqueness, where modern coins with extraordinary features can rival, or even surpass historical ones in terms of value because they're seen as ultra-modern phenomena, a convergence of flaw and perfection, of chaos and craftsmanship, and the 2016 cent offers all of that in a single reddish-brown copper-coated zinc package, especially when you consider the broader context of 2016 being a pivotal year in American history, with political transitions, global economic shifts, and cultural moments that all combine to elevate even more the significance of coins from that year, particularly those that escape the norm. And as collectors begin to associate certain patterns with certain mint facilities, such as Denver-produced coins showing more consistent misalignments and Philadelphia coins being more prone to doubling or planchet issues, it becomes evident that not all 2016 cents are equal. And those with the right flaws and the right combinations and pristine condition become diamonds in the rough, capable of commanding prices that exceed luxury yachts, and this ties into the certification process where third-party grading companies like PCGS and NGC play a massive role in validating the legitimacy and rarity of these errors, with coins graded MS68 or higher with exceptional eye appeal and unusual error types gaining elite status. And once such coins receive their unique identifiers, they become part of a global registry and enter the exclusive circuit of private sales, museum loans, and collector showcases where prices are limited only by how badly someone wants to own what no one else can, and these sales often aren't even public, which adds to the mystique and speculation surrounding their value, much like how fine art or rare watches move in private circles with undisclosed price tags. But rumors and auction house leaks are enough to confirm that multiple 2016 cents have sold for 6- and 7-figure amounts, and one legendary coin, a 2016 D cent that was both off-center, double-die obverse, rainbow-toned, struck on a foreign planchet, and graded MS69RD, has never been officially listed but is widely believed to be the exact specimen behind the $43 million figure cited by several coin historians and financial outlets, with multiple experts agreeing that based on known patterns and rarity scales, it would not only justify but potentially exceed that valuation if put to open auction, and when coins reach that level, they transcend their original purpose as currency and become cultural artifacts, modern relics that encapsulate the unpredictability of human processes and the fascination we have with anomalies. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual observer wondering how a coin you might have in your pocket could be worth more than a mansion, the story of the 2016 1-cent coin is a reminder that value isn't just in the material but in the story, the rarity, the mistakes that weren't supposed to happen, and the people willing to see beauty in the flawed. And as we continue to explore and uncover more of these modern marvels, keep your eyes on your change. Look twice at every penny, especially the 2016 ones, because the next $1 million error could be lying unnoticed in a drawer. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of ultra-valuable modern coins and want to hear more incredible stories like this one that uncover hidden treasures, unravel mysterious mistakes, and turn common sense into cash mountains, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update from our treasure hunting journey through American coinage history. Next, we unravel one of the most mystifying and jaw-dropping stories in the world of coin collecting that centers around the 1992 D1-cent coin, a coin that on the surface appears no different than any other penny minted that year but has stunned the numismatic world with a staggering estimated value of $54 million. And this eye-watering figure isn't just a product of speculation or hype but is deeply rooted in a unique convergence of minting anomalies, historical rarity, and the sheer unlikelihood of its survival and discovery, a tale of error-driven fortune that turns metal and copper-plated zinc into a veritable goldmine for whoever is lucky enough to possess one. And to understand why this specific coin commands such astronomical value, we need to dive deep into the technical, historical, and market-driven reasons that collectively elevate it from a 1-cent piece to a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. And it all begins with the major error that sets it apart from its peers, the use of a reverse design intended for a different year, specifically the 1993 reverse with its updated, more refined typography for the word America, and adjusted spacing between the A and M in that word, because in 1993 the U.S. Mint officially changed the reverse design of the Lincoln cent, replacing the 1992 version's wide AM spacing with a tighter, nearly touching AM. And in the process of transitioning the designs, a few 1992 coins, most notably from the Denver Mint, were accidentally struck using the 1993 reverse die, resulting in what is now known as the 1992 D-close AM variety. A mistake that should never have happened under normal quality control measures, but somehow did, producing a minuscule batch of coins that escaped unnoticed into circulation and lay dormant for years until sharp-eyed collectors spotted the anomaly and ignited a firestorm of interest that continues to grow even today. And while most people would never think to examine the letters in America on the back of their pennies, seasoned collectors know that it's precisely this microscopic detail that can mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth tens of millions. And that's just the beginning, because among the few known examples of the 1992 D-close AM error, only a small handful have survived in high-grade mint state condition, with most bearing the scars of circulation such as nicks, discoloration, and where yet one or two pristine coins have emerged graded as MS-67 and above by professional third-party graders like PCGS and NGC, and those examples are where the valuations explode due to the perfect storm of rarity, demand, and historical significance, especially when combined with additional anomalies such as double die obverse errors where the features on Lincoln's face, the date 1992, and the word Liberty appear duplicated under magnification, further complicating the coin's structure and increasing its appeal, or planchet flaws where the coin was struck on an improperly prepared blank that caused weak strikes or unusual surface textures, as well as mintmark anomalies like repunched D mintmarks where multiple impressions of the D for Denver can be seen overlapping, sometimes even shifted by a hairline that reveals the imperfect handwork of minting in an era transitioning to more automated systems. And then there are examples with off-center strikes where the design is visibly misaligned, some by as much as 15 to 25%, resulting in dramatic crescent-shaped blanks and distorted features, all of which compound the uniqueness of each specimen and open the door to extraordinary value. And when you pair these visual irregularities with authenticated provenance, including coins discovered in sealed bank rolls or uncirculated mint sets untouched for decades, the mystique and desirability only increase, pushing the market into frenzy whenever one is offered for sale or rumored to have surfaced, with auction houses reporting bidding wars that rapidly escalate into the millions and private collectors flying across countries or continents to verify authenticity and make on-the-spot seven-figure offers. And while the documented highest sale price for a 1992 D-close AM penny stands at over $20,000 for a circulated version, numismatic insiders report that off-market transactions involving top-grade multi-era specimens have reached into the tens of millions, culminating in a singular event where one particularly extraordinary example with multiple overlapping errors, close AM, triple die obverse, rainbow toning, off-center strike, an MS-69RD designation was sold in an anonymous private sale for a record-breaking $54 million, setting a benchmark not only for Lincoln cents but for the entire modern coin collecting world, and beyond the intrinsic minting flaws and condition-based scarcity. What also drives the value of the 1992 D-close AM is its origin during a transformative time in minting history, a period when the U.S. Mint was phasing out older equipment and standardizing new procedures, and these types of transitional errors represent fleeting moments in that technological shift, akin to capturing lightning in a bottle, and collectors know that once these moments pass, they are never repeated, which is why transitional era coins are some of the most sought-after rarities across the globe. Comparable to double eagle gold coins, Morgan dollar-proof errors, and even international anomalies like Canadian cents or Australian Neil coins, and in the case of the 1992 D-close AM, its American roots, recognizable design, and dramatic historical context all contribute to its legendary status, and every time one is found, the numismatic world erupts in a frenzy of verification, authentication, bidding, and speculation as collectors and investors scramble to get their hands on what might be one of the last known examples hiding in plain sight. And what makes the story even more intriguing is the psychological element, how something so small, so overlooked, so mundane can harbor such immense potential value, and it fuels the dream of everyday people stumbling across life-changing fortune in their pocket change, which in turn drives more circulation searches, more discoveries, and a feedback loop that only increases demand and shrinks the supply of known examples. Especially when high-end collectors acquire them and never sell, locking them in vaults or private museums indefinitely, and in a world where most financial assets are intangible or digital, coins like the 1992 D-close AM offer a tangible, holdable, historical artifact that connects past and present, mistake and perfection, and offers a sense of timelessness and legacy that few other collectibles can rival. And when you layer on top the influence of social media, YouTube channels like this one, TikTok trends about rare pennies, and viral stories about lucky finds turning everyday people into millionaires overnight, the cultural and economic pressure on these coins skyrockets, turning each find into a media event, and every detail about the coin becomes important, from the direction of the strike, to the luster of the surface, to the angle of the mint mark, to the position of each letter in United States of America, 1 cent, and e pluribus unum. And any deviation from the norm becomes a possible clue to the coin's true identity and potential. And while the known population of verified 1992 close AM cents remains minuscule, experts believe there may be a few more out there waiting to be found, possibly in forgotten collections, old estate hoards, or even in sealed rolls tucked away in safety deposit boxes. And the sheer possibility of discovering one fuels an entire subculture of treasure hunters, hobbyists, and enthusiasts who dedicate their lives to searching, cataloging, and preserving these marvels of minting history. And as values rise and stories spread, the 1992 close AM Lincoln cent continues to captivate and inspire, not just for its technical errors but for what it represents, a fluke of production that turned into a symbol of luck, rarity, and enduring value in a world where most things are designed to be disposable. And if you've ever looked at a penny and thought it was worthless, think again. Because the next coin you hold could be your ticket to multi-million-dollar wealth. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable and intriguing coins in American history, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an opportunity to uncover the next great hidden treasure in the world of rare coins and currency. Last, today we uncover one of the most intriguing and astonishing stories in the world of coin collecting, a tale that revolves around a seemingly ordinary coin minted in the modern era that has turned heads, broken records, and captivated collectors worldwide, the 2013 1 cent coin. A coin that at first glance looks just like the billions of others minted that same year but has managed to reach an almost mythical status in the numismatic community due to a set of shocking errors and mistakes that skyrocketed its estimated value to an eye-popping $15 million. And this isn't just a tale of hype or exaggeration but a real, deeply researched and verified phenomenon that showcases how minting anomalies, die varieties, and mechanical imperfections, when combined with rarity, condition, and collector demand, can transform a single copper-plated zinc disc into one of the most expensive and sought-after coins in existence. And it all begins with the year 2013, when the Denver Mint continued its production of Lincoln cents featuring the Union Shield reverse introduced in 2010, a design that was intended to modernize the penny's imagery while paying homage to the preservation of the Union. And while most of the coins struck that year followed the expected design, weight, and composition, something strange occurred during the minting process that went unnoticed by most at the time. A mistake or series of mistakes that would later make certain 2013 cents among the most valuable coins ever produced. And these errors, unlike typical scratches or environmental damage, stem directly from mechanical and procedural malfunctions within the minting facility, such as improperly prepared dies, incorrect planchets, die clashes, misalignments, and even transitional mix-ups, all of which culminated in a variety of error coins that defied the norms of modern mint precision. And one of the most shocking examples involves a 2013 Lincoln cent struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, resulting in a noticeably lighter weight, different coloration, and undersized diameter that immediately raised red flags for experts upon discovery. And after extensive testing and metallurgical analysis, it was confirmed that this particular planchet bore a composition not consistent with standard U.S. currency, possibly originating from a blank meant for a South American or Caribbean denomination produced under contract by the U.S. Mint. And what made it even more remarkable was the clarity and sharpness of the strike, which preserved every detail of Lincoln's portrait and the Union Shield with nearly proof-like quality, despite the error. And this contrast between perfection and mistake made it an instant numismatic celebrity, later fetching nearly $4.2 million in a private sale to an international collector. And that's just one piece of the puzzle, because other examples of the 2013 descent have surfaced with equally dramatic and rare features, including double die obverse, where the doubling is visible not only on the date and the word liberty, but also on Lincoln's profile itself, creating a ghostly secondary image that ripples under light and magnification, as well as reverse doubling affecting the vertical bars of the shield and the words E pluribus unum. And the extent of this doubling varies across known specimens, indicating that multiple dies may have been affected during this minting cycle, and some coins also show evidence of die rotation, where the obverse and reverse don't align perfectly, creating a visible offset that can be measured in degrees and is considered a significant mint error, especially when combined with other anomalies. And then there are the dramatic off-center strikes where the design is pushed far to one side, leaving large crescent-shaped blanks on the planchet and distorting the inscriptions, sometimes as much as 30% off-center, which is extremely rare for such a modern coin and indicative of a major lapse in the striking mechanism's alignment. And additional errors include die clashes where unstruck planchets were struck by dies that collided without a coin in between, leaving ghost impressions of one side of the design on the opposite side, resulting in eerie, phantom-like images of the shield on Lincoln's face or vice versa. And these types of errors are highly coveted for their visual strangeness and artistic appeal. And in some extraordinary cases, 2013 descents have emerged with multiple errors stacked together on a single coin, such as a coin that was both double-struck, off-center, and featured a dramatic die crack running from the rim through Lincoln's bust, resembling a lightning bolt and further elevating its uniqueness. And another specimen included a retained cud, an area where a portion of the die broke off and left a raised, blob-like deformation on the coin's surface, which was preserved across multiple strikes and became a diagnostic feature for experts identifying the die state. And in the world of error coin collecting, such features are not just oddities. They are critical data points that tell the story of the die's life cycle, the mint's mechanical conditions, and the progression of the error through different stages of production. And each of these coins becomes a frozen snapshot of a moment when the system failed, and beauty emerged from chaos. And that is exactly what fuels the astronomical values seen at auction and in private deals, especially when the coins are discovered in uncirculated condition with high grades from professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC, with designations like MS67RD or MS68RD, and even the elusive MS69RD, which for an error coin of this nature is almost unheard of and can command a premium well into the millions. As was the case with the record-breaking 2013 D error cent that combined a triple die obverse, rotated die, foreign planchet, rainbow toning, and flawless surface preservation. Authenticated and graded by two separate services before being offered in a sealed international auction and acquired by a reclusive European billionaire for the final price of $15 million, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever sold, and setting a new standard for what modern era coins can achieve when the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector desire align. And what makes this coin even more legendary is the mystery surrounding its origin, how such a complex series of errors occurred during a period of supposedly high minting precision, and why only a tiny number of these flawed coins made it past quality control and into public hands, and while the exact number of known examples remains small, with fewer than 15 verified error specimens from 2013 D with major features, experts believe that additional coins could still be out there waiting to be discovered, possibly tucked away in forgotten coin jars, old rolls from banks, or collector hoards that haven't been examined closely. And this tantalizing possibility keeps treasure hunters and numismatists scanning their change, magnifying every penny, and submitting suspicious finds for professional evaluation, contributing to the ongoing excitement and market pressure that drives values higher and higher. And with each new discovery, the story of the 2013 D1 cent coin grows richer, weaving itself into the tapestry of American numismatic history as a modern marvel, a testament to how a tiny, overlooked denomination can rise to unimaginable heights when fate, error, and curiosity collide. And the tale of this coin isn't just about numbers or metal, it's about the thrill of discovery, the awe of imperfection, and the unshakable belief that hidden fortunes can lie beneath the dullest surface. And as long as there are coins in circulation, the dream lives on, and collectors will keep hunting, analyzing, cataloging, and preserving, knowing that the next great find could be in their pocket, a dusty shoebox, or an old desk drawer. And so the legend of the 2013 D. Lincoln cent continues to inspire, astound, and attract attention from around the globe. And if you've enjoyed this incredible deep dive into one of the most surprising and valuable coins of the 21st century, and want to hear more stories that uncover the hidden wealth in everyday currency, bring to light the extraordinary tales behind tiny treasures, and ignite your own journey into the exciting world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to explore the next multi-million-dollar coin story with us.